Hi, welcome to Scotty Casts, where occasionally I will be interviewing someone, but mostly I talk about things that are, let's say, crazy in this world, when I want to have my opinion put out there about problems in this world and, just talking about things that really matter to this world, whether it's the survival of the world or the way people treat each other. And occasionally I will have a CEO in an interview or other interesting people in an interview, but mostly it's about me and talking about the world. The white man has conquered the world, so to speak. And why do I say the white man? It's because I am white, but I know about history. I know what the white man did to South Africans, to South Africa, the country. I know what the white man did in Australia to the Aborigines. I know what the white man did in New Zealand to the Maoris. And I know very big time what the white man did to the American natives, or what people usually call the Indians, which is not really appropriate. Just on that one point alone, the white man decided that the Indians weren't doing okay, even though they were loving. The Indians were doing just fine. They loved nature. They lived in harmony with nature, whereas the white man just wants to plow the nature down, like I talked about many times. But the point is, the white man went into the tribes of the Indians and took away their children and put them into schools trying to make them think like white people. But the thing that's very, very interesting about that whole story is that the Indians actually were very attractive to some of the Europeans that were trying to take them over in the first place. A lot of them actually, they jumped out of their own society and went into the Indian societies to live with the Indians, because the Indians were one with nature, whereas we, the white people, all we can do is plow down all the trees so we can grow more crops or have more room for the cows that are being eaten. I don't know, but all I know is that no matter where you go, it doesn't matter if it's Sweden, it doesn't matter if it's the United States, the green on this earth, which is natural, is disappearing. But that's not the main reason of this podcast. The podcast is about the injustice being done to the people, to the natives, people that are native to the lands. It doesn't matter if it's the Europeans that came over and that killed thousands and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of South American Indians way back when, or the Dutch that went down and colonized South Africa when it was really just black people living there then. Then there's, of course, the Aborigines, which is just the word for the natives in Australia. They also were living totally in harmony with nature until the white man came. Just the same story as what happened in the U.S. Before it was the U.S., when it was being settled. Sorry. But they have their own way of respecting the land that the white man just doesn't have. It's gone. We are so blind to what we're doing to the world. We're so blind to the land that's under our feet. Who ever gave the right to anyone to own land? Where did that come from? We were just people, simple people living off the land before, whether it's finding, hunters and gatherers, or the people that actually went out and went after game. But sorry, we have totally forgotten our roots. I mean, that story was called Roots by Alex Haley many years ago, but it had only to do with the blacks that were taken out of the Africa and put over to be used as slaves, which was also totally misusing human beings. But all I want to say is that we are so far away from the people that actually lived here before. In Sweden, there's a group called the Samis, or the Sami, that live up in the very north. They are a kind of native to this country. And now Sweden is becoming, even though I love the Swedish people, and I love the beauty in Sweden, Sweden is doing the same thing. I was just out looking at a place today to live, and this probably what was a very beautiful place is now overrun with buildings. There's hardly any green there anymore. We aren't from buildings. Our history doesn't come from buildings. It comes from the land. We have to respect the land. We have to stop cutting down the trees, and we have to start looking at all people. It does not matter if they're in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter if they have slanted eyes. It doesn't matter if they have a different color skin, because guess what? Everyone has a different color skin. Even two quote-unquote white people that are not white, they're actually pink or whatever color you want to call it. They're no two of them are the same. Even twins aren't the same. But the point is, everyone is connected on this earth. We have to help each other. We have to care about all people on the earth, not just looking after our own rear ends, not just putting money into getting the next car or the next piece of clothing that you have to have, even though $2 trillion dollars worth of clothing is thrown away each year. I'm going off the point, I know, but there's just so much injustice in this world. I am going to be talking about the Maoris, about the Aborigines, about what happened to the South Africans, what happened to the Jews in Europe. I mean, the American Indians. I've got so much to talk about, to write about. I'm going to be doing videos about this stuff, and I will not stop. I started a foundation already. I've talked about this, heartsthatshare.org. And that's one of the things I want to do, is to stop injustice in this world. It's terrible what we do to our fellow human beings. We are all human beings. And for that matter, whoever gave the right to anyone to say that animals don't have any worth? Pigs are slaughtered by the thousands. Pigs are smarter than dogs, but people think, oh, but dogs are so cute. The Chinese eat the dogs. It's all cultural, but it shouldn't be cultural. It should be a universal thing, giving universal rights to all living beings. Well, I'll get off my soapbox right now, but I will be coming out with many more videos and audios, and I'm going to build Hearts That Share, which can be found at heartsthatshare.org. I'm going to build that into an international foundation, which is going to take care of all people on the earth and try to shut down factory farms, which, just as an example, I can tell you pigs about being smart. When the pigs are in the troughs on their way to be butchered, they are screaming and trying to jump out of the troughs, sometimes killing themselves by mistake because they go through all these contortions to get away. They hear the pigs up in the front that are being slaughtered and the sounds they make because they're so damn smart. Let's start doing that with dogs also. Then people will get the idea that pigs are worth a lot more than they think. They are worth a lot. All animals are worth a lot. That's why I became a vegan over 20 years ago, and I've never, ever felt better. I've never had more energy. So please start loving people no matter what they look like, whatever shape they are, whether they're in a wheelchair, whether they can't walk, whether they have cerebral palsy or not. By the way, people that have cerebral palsy that look really strange, they have very, very functional brains. So when you make fun of them or your kids make fun of anyone with cerebral palsy, shame on you. Or someone that does have a brain damage, I mean, they couldn't help it. Every living thing, it doesn't matter what color they are, it doesn't matter what shape they're in, they deserve respect, They deserve love and they deserve help from other people. I'm going to start crying. They just really, there's so much injustice, whether it's the Russians attacking the Ukrainians, and I can't talk anymore, but thank you for listening. I appreciate that you listen to my podcast. Thank you. I hope you understand what I mean by injustice in this world, and I hope you believe in that you will actually start considering your fellow man, no matter what they look like, no matter what color they are, and just start loving other people. Thank you for listening to ScottyCast, and all the best.